Well, that sucked. Hey, welcome back. We're going to call that fucker that was in chat earlier because he's been talking shit in the text message. So this should be fun. I'm going to pull back up the Senate. We'll go to it here in a little bit. Give everybody just a little bit to get back in here. Brody, welcome in. We'll pick back up where we left off. I'll take the Senate here for a second.
Mr. Welch, Mr. Whitehouse.
Let everybody file back in. I might lose the whopping like 17 people I had on YouTube. That really sucks. I can't catch a break. Had a good stream going.
Senators voting in the affirmative. Banks, Barrasso, Blackburn, Bozeman, Britt, Budd, Capito, Hornan, Cotton, Kramer, Crapo, Cruz, Curtis, Daines, Graham,
Crapo Cruz,
Ashley, Hawley, Hoven.
That sounds like a fucking
Johnson, Justice, Kennedy, Langford, Lummis,
deadly disease. Crapo Cruz.
Marino.
What kept you at home? I had the Crapo Cruz.
Scott of Florida, Scott of South Carolina. Sheehy, Thune, and Tubbs.
Sheehy.
Mr. Lee.
Tim Sheehy. That takes me back to the election.
Also Brooks, Baldwin, Bennett.
Anonymously, welcome back. I'm sorry.
Cantwell, Cassidy, Collins, Cortez Masto.
I can't promise anything.
Durbin, Fetterman, Fisher.
My future is completely up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen?
Hickenlooper, Hirono.
Oh, I know that like here in a few minutes we're going to call that dude that was in chat. I'm going to let everybody have a chance to get back in here.
McConnell, Merkley, Moran.
Then we'll call that dude.
Murphy, Murray, Padilla.
Because he's been talking shit.
Peters, Ricketts.
In my text messages. Tell me I've got him blocked on the voice chat? Like,
Schumer,
I do not.
Shaheen, Smith, Van Hollen, Warner, Warnock, Warren, Welch, Whitehouse, Wicker, and Wyden.
She has a Wyden.
Bozeman. No. Mr. Rounds. No. Mr.
I don't know what we're voting on right now.
Mr. Markey. No.
Maybe this is PBS. Maybe if I take the AP. Maybe AP will tell us what they're voting on. I have plenty of news. We've got Tupac later. AP doesn't tell us what they're voting on. We should go to C-SPAN. That's who knows what's going on. Well, what's wrong with me? This is C-SPAN 2 because it's the Senate, right? Yeah.
hostage and then give you everything you want. And that's really the
okay, so they're even playing the clip that I would have
negotiation
was going to play. Yeah, let's go to C-SPAN. They'll take care of it for us. Once we get everybody back in here.
Open to a deal on the ACA subsidies?
Well, I'm highly skeptical that the president was learning about it for the first time, thanks to Chuck Schumer. But what I will say is, look, We have put a $50 billion rural hospital fund into the big, beautiful building.
This is the clip I was getting ready to play.
We know that under Biden administration's policies, there are a lot of small-town hospitals, a lot of rural health care that was getting shut down and that was struggling. We're trying to fix that problem. In fact, we're happy to work with Democrats to fix that problem. We want to work across the aisle to make sure that people have access to good health.
Oh, so this is the funding vote that we were watching right now.
Give them everything that they want. That's not how the people's government has ever worked.
You're the one that sounds like a retard. I gotta be honest with you, my friend. You're just like reeing away. You're sending me text messages and shit. It's hilarious. You want to talk? Do you want to talk, my friend? You're telling me like I've got you blocked or something? I assume this is you in my text messages, correct? I'll give you an opportunity to speak, my friend.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone and Google.
Are you not answering me? You got me blocked? Is that what it is?
Hello. Please state your name after the tone and Google.
That's me calling you. You got me blocked. Right wingers are morons. No, come back to me, C-SPAN.
The American people are hurting in their health care. The American people, we're seeing hospitals close.
I don't have you blocked. There's no way. You don't know how to operate a phone.
Being able to get the health care they need. And the American people are crying.
And it's not you texting me the dumbest shit you've ever heard.
As legislative leaders,
hi, fuck face.
to try and solve this
Fix your
problem.
stream, dumb fuck. That's not you.
And we focused in the room in particular on the ACA.
Talks an awful lot like you.
And
Throws out a couple of R slurs.
was sharply drawn were rescissions.
I'm not playing victim, man. I'm just pointing out like the obvious.
That how could we negotiate a bipartisan agreement?
Do you think we're stupid? Do you think we're fools?
Through impoundment, or the Republican Party
You think
through
we're
rescissions,
stupid? You think
and
we're
the president
fools?
unilaterally through pocket rescissions, undo it all without any input. So we made these arguments very strongly, and the particular focus was
As I said, the two sticking points are
when we made these arguments.
ACA subsidies
there was a
and rescissions after the bill is
between the
passed.
president and the two Republican leaders. The Republican leaders were were adamant that they do nothing on rescission, and they just wanted to kick the health care problem down the road. Well, they've been kicking it down the road since March. And in fact, I made the point clear to the president and to the legislative leaders, as did Leader Jeffries.
Well, if you'd like to talk to me, hop into the Discord.
Much earlier, but it didn't. But there was a real division, because when we talked to the president...
There is not a single person that has ever watched this show that believes that I have you blocked. Who the fuck are you? Why would I just have you blocked preemptively?
Sit there and watch her daughter suffer and even die.
That doesn't make any sense, especially because I love arguing with people. Is Kick Chat working?
Would pay so many Americans tens
Let
of
me go
millions
check on the
of
Kick
Americans
people,
pay huge
because sometimes the Kick Chat doesn't work.
in their health care
Have you guys been talking? Nobody been seeing it?
because of the ACA.
No, you guys just been quiet over here.
Not aware that the real effect of that starts October 1st, not December 31st. So it seemed from his body language and some of the things he said that he was not aware.
Warlord, good evening. You're up late.
The treatise, the
Greetings from across the pond.
implications on health care for Americans, nor the argument about rescissions. So how do we solve this problem? Well, we told the president he can solve the problem by demanding...
Are we going? But we're shutting down tomorrow, it looks like.
Johnson, that we'd start off with the ACA, just take our provision on the ACA and put it in their bill, and take our provisions. It's all in our bill, so it doesn't have to be.
Looks like the Senate is going to defeat
changed or gone over on rescissions and on
the current vote, which is a vote for cloture, which is to close debate. So we're probably going to continue debate after this. There's about 4.5 minutes left. I'm glad we went to C-SPAN. We know what the fuck is going on now.
Now we know why they didn't want him to meet with us.
It's something like 100,000 people expected to resign, be fired, leave government come tomorrow.
Clean equals partisan. And I reminded the legislative, the Republican leaders, that when we were in the majority, we
very weird situation.
Bills. And that's why there were no shutdowns in the 4 years I was majority leader. We negotiated the bills. Each side got something. They had some input. We've had no input. Leader Jeffries had no input from Johnson. I had no input from Thur. And they say, well, the appropriators talked. They did talk on 3 bills. We're glad about that. But on the issues of health care and on rescissions, the appropriators, the 4 appropriators said they can't resolve it, kick it up to the 4 corners. But it's now in the president's hands. He can avoid a shutdown if he gets.
Chuck Schumer is so boring. He is the wrong person for this job.
And if they don't,
this
the American
time,
people are going to know they had a partisan bill.
I've called him and told him that as well.
He admitted in the room. I said,
on this show,
gets the blame for this stuff.
Carla, welcome in.
He admitted that.
Now that Carler. Now that Carler is here,
the American people
sounded real fucking redneck. Now that Carla is here, let's get high.
Thank you, Chuck. Republicans control
fucking Hakeem Jeffries. Flash.
The Senate, and Donald Trump is the president.
My phone line is open. I am receiving calls
to shut the government down and hurt the American people. And that's a point that we made loudly and clearly in that meeting. It was a frank and sharp discussion about the path forward.
Flash, Carla, somebody call and prove that my phone line is open.
Ready, willing, and able over these next 36 or so hours.
Just give it a ring so we know.
To fund the government.
Holiday, one of you.
And avoid a shutdown. But any agreement must be bipartisan in nature. And it's got to meet the needs of the American people in terms of their health, safety, and economic well-being. Any spending agreement that by necessity has to be bipartisan nature, has to actually improve the quality of life of the American people, particularly as it relates to the Republican-caused health care crisis. There is urgency to the moment because Republicans are decimating the health care of the American people.
There we go.
The largest cut
it did it by itself
in American history as part of the one big ugly bill. Medicare confronts a $536 billion cut if Congress fails to act at the end of this year. The affordable...
Well, shit, apparently I'm already making money off a kick. Well, cool.
And much of our discussion was
kick
on this issue because of the immediate urgency of the fact that in just a matter of days, which we continue to point out.
Oh shit, I don't know if I turned everybody else on. There's Rumble, D-Live, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook. Oh, wait a minute, Facebook's not hooked up. I can't get back to my Facebook page.
Out of control. Because of Republicans' refusal to extend the tax credits in ways that would benefit
well, thank you for your sub, Carla.
Americans. We also made clear in the meeting.
I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Why are you whining in my chat, dude?
Has to have something in the legislation that makes clear to the American people that
you must have a sad life.
Takes place.
Because like I like to troll people, but I do it way better than you do.
To meet the needs of the American people, it can't be subject to Republicans.
It is true, Bronny.
Undermine.
Well, I don't know if I've got Byronic back yet.
Ways that actually
makes me sad.
I
miss her.
Americans. We pointed out.
Oh, Sky Comet. He was here before I got disconnected.
Bill Hospitals
Well, who is
are closing. Nursing homes are closing.
changed my diet? Do you have a diaper fetish now? Are you
All
saying
across
you
the
like
country,
your women to diaper you up,
urgency
or your men? I don't
that
discriminate.
issue right now. And so it was a frank discussion. It's important that it occurred.
Daddy Dom, Daddy daughter. I don't know. Fucking.
To
It's
find
not my side of the
forward, address
the
the
kink
Republican healthcare
spectrum.
crisis, and avoid a Republican-caused government shutdown.
Questions? Yes.
Wouldn't it be worse to send this country into a prolonged government shutdown than to...
I don't know that it wouldn't be better to send the country into a prolonged government shutdown at this point.
Yes.
Our government is being very malicious towards people.
Time to negotiate over the enhanced premium tax credits, etc. Are you worried that when
How do I not understand basic streaming, a thing I've been doing for
decide not to buy
6-7 years now?
fix it by the
Like, brother, you're
they won't
Yes.
re-enroll? Is that
That's the
concern that
reason,
you're
you
gonna-
know.
You're not
some
even
of the
being
Republican leaders said,
fined.
let's wait till January or late December. You hit the reason. They can't. On October 1st, they get these notices, and many of them by November have to make a decision whether to change their health care. If you're a person, you know, middle-class person, and you're going to hear that the premiums are going to go up $400 a month, that's the average in the country, $5,000 a year, you may say either I can't afford health care and drop it, or more likely take a less generous plan where you pay much more for co-payments, deductibles.
Wait a minute, where's my camera
So
at?
you can't wait till
I
January.
didn't even realize it wasn't on camera.
Go ahead, please.
Donald Trump
I don't hate America. I actually love America, and I want it to be, want it to live up to its ideals.
But costs aren't going down in the United States of America. Costs are going up. Inflation is going up. America is too expensive. And Democrats are fighting
I want a country that's based on
the Affordable
freedom.
Care Act issue and the Republican health care crisis because we believe that we need to make this country more affordable.
Republicans have like main character syndrome, and they think everything revolves around them, like
Notices are
babies.
gonna go out to tens of millions of Americans, making clear that their health care is about to become dramatically more
Freedom and equality for all.
Ways that
For
will
all.
actually
I want to
cause
expand freedom and equality to apply to everybody.
to have to forego necessary health care. And that's not an
I think we can have an amazing government full of amazing people,
in the history
but you got to get
of the
rid
world.
of
And we pointed
all the money that permeates
This is a
politics.
healthcare fight, but it's also a fight to lower the high cost of living here.
Money is the reason why we have shit-ass Democrats like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries.
To be included in this CR or no deal, or are you willing to accept
We get the money out of politics.
and then have a separate?
You know, they say
There's Byronic.
45 days. We've had since March.
We get the money out of
45
politics, and then
days
we can have good
45
people
days,
serving,
45 days and 45
actually
days.
doing the will of
We
the
asked to
people.
meet earlier, they didn't want to. So we think when they say later, they mean never. We have to do it now, first because of the timing issue, and second because now is the time we can get...
Brother, if you're trying to make fun of my drug use, which you're talking about marijuana, which I live in a legal state, I purchased it legally, I could fucking wave at a cop with a bowl in my hand.
So that people aren't hurt, and then we can discuss whatever reforms you want. But you got to...
100% legal.
Yes.
Now that you've presented these issues directly,
You're getting owned by a druggie.
a 7 to 10 day CR.
No.
Drugs are bad. I'm
No,
good.
we have to do it now. The time is a wasting. We have to do it now. We've delayed and delayed.
Time is a wasting.
As I said, as Martin Luther King once said.
Oh my God.
Never. They don't want to do this, the Republican leaders, because they're right wing. It'll divide their party. Their right wing hates ACA altogether.
I am a little
We
depraved.
have to get it done. And the president, the way to do this is the president, who is really listening to us, tells the Republicans to do it.
Was he really listening to you?
House Democrats
I find that hard to believe.
are here. The Senate is ready to act. House Republicans cancel votes. They're on vacation right now. All
And
across
Flash, don't you say that as a stoner and a drinker?
the world. They're not serious about actually reaching a bipartisan agreement. that meets the needs of the
I don't. You're my Huckleberry. Okay.
And there was no.
Isn't that like a Val Kilmer line from what
From the Speaker
Tombstone?
of the House of Representatives.
Am I not getting it? Does it mean something else?
And at the same time, people are supposed to believe that Republicans are serious
Flash rests his
about
case.
addressing the health care crisis that they've caused, but simply want to kick the can down the road.
Nobody blocked you. How? I don't know who you are. How could I fucking block you? Did somebody else try to call in? Is there something wrong with my phone?
It's divorced from reality.
If you ever wanted proof that Republicans...
God damn it, I'm going to go to my other phone and call and make sure.
Look at when the Speaker scheduled the House to come back in after a shutdown.
This spring, just a few days before Congress enacted the last continuing resolution, which is a spending plan,
it works.
It would extend the Biden-era spending levels. President Trump said in a speech that he wanted to do
just bullshit
that hadn't been done in over 20 years, balance the budget. I fully commend him for that and am very supportive of trying to get there. The difficulty is that the spending levels we voted on in March and the spending levels...
I don't really remember the movie because it's from Tombstone, right? I watched it maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I wanted to watch it when I was a kid. Like when I was like 12 or 13 or something like that. And my uncle had a copy of it in his dresser, and I pulled it out and put it in, and it was not Tombstone. Which also, that's a hilarious story. I don't know if I've ever told this one on stream. Huckleberry means bottom. You're my bottom. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm your dingleberry. So I found this porno at my grandmother's house. My uncle was staying with my grandmother. Nobody was home one afternoon when I came home from school. And I knew that porno was there. Because this is before the internet had widely available. I'm 8th grade, maybe 9th grade, something like that. And I go and I put the tape in because, like, at my grandmother's house, it had this weird, like, everything was kind of weird, and, like, the living room sat way back to where you saw the entire driveway. So, like, if anybody, and, like, it was so far away. So you could see the entire driveway. And you could see somebody coming 5 minutes before they ever walked in the fucking house. You see them park, and then it's like forever to get into the house. So it's like the perfect setup. You know, I'm sitting there having me a wank and everything, and my mom pulls into the driveway. She's obviously gotten off work early or something. So, you know, buckle back up and everything. I'll get finished. You know, that's the way it is for being a kid. And I go to get the tape out of the VCR, and when I hit eject, the label on the tape flips up and gets caught on the top of the VCR. So the tape goes out, gets caught, and then goes back in. So it's kind of like the porno was doing a porno of its own. So it's like... So it's stuck in a loop where it's going like in and out, in and out. And now I'm running out of time. My mom's coming. And I don't want to get caught. I freak out. I don't know what to do. It must have been around Christmas time or something, because there was like a Christmas card. And I put it in front of the VCR and tried to head off my mom in like the other room before she comes into the like, there's two different living rooms. There's like a big long living room, and then there was like another, like, long the other way, parallel living room. So I'm, like, trying to head her off, like, all right, let's go ahead and go home. Which would have meant that I was leaving a porno there for my fucking grandparents to find. But there's like there's my older brother, there's my uncle that was staying there. So like I had plausible deniability that it wasn't exactly me. So I tried to head my mom off, and my mom is like, I hear something in there. What is that? She goes in there, like, oh, there's a tape caught in the VCR. Let me get that out for you. And she like does a little, and I'm over standing in the corner like, oh my God. So she like tugs on it, and it goes back in, and it plays automatically. There's porno on the screen. And my mom was pretty cool. So like she laughs her ass off. And she's looking over at me with just like in horror. She no, Scott, I can't go back all the way. No, I wasn't watching porn. I had plenty of time to see somebody coming. The tape got caught as I go to like put the tape up. Before anybody walks in, it got caught in the VCR. My mom heard it and went in there and tried it. She's like, oh, you got a tape caught in the VCR. Let me get that out for you. And then she fell over. Wasn't like I had my dick out or anything. That would have been really embarrassing. Oh, fuck. That, like, brother. I'm going to go to YouTube and ban you because I'm tired of hearing you whine. Nobody banned you from anything. But you're going to get banned if you keep it up. I love the word poussey. I like to call it a poussey. Oh, don't forget, we're going to be doing Tupac afterwards. I guess we should get to the news. Trump has declared war on us. I haven't had a chance to go over this presidential declaration. National Security Directive declares wars on those who don't support Trump. The directive labels common beliefs such as anti-capitalist opinions as terrorism indicators. This is by Ken Klippenstein. Apparently twice by Ken Klippenstein. He got two different bylines on it. With the mainstream media distracted by the made-for-TV drama James Comey's indictment, Trump has signed a little-noticed national security directive identifying anti-Christian, that's me, and anti-American views as indicators of radical left violence. Okay, like, anti-American? What do you mean by American? That's a nebulous term. That's what fascists do. They create some kind of nebulous term. I'm not anti-American at all. I want America to live up to its ideals. It's called the National Security Presidential Memorandum 7. It's being referred to as NSPM 7 by administration insiders. This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism, Trump's Homeland Security advisor Stephen Miller said, referring to the issuance. To the extent that the major media noticed the directive at all, they, even C-SPAN, incorrectly labeled it an executive order, like last week's designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. Nope, this is something completely different. It's hard to overstate how much different NSPM 7 is from the over 200 executive orders Trump has frantically signed since coming back into office. An executive order publicly lays out the course of day-to-day federal government operations, whereas a national security directive is a sweeping policy decree for the defense, foreign policy, intelligence, and law enforcement apparatus. National security directives are often secret, but in this case, the Trump administration chose to publish NSPM 7, only the 7th since he's come into office. Previous national security directives have been controversial, even politically earth-shaking. In 1980, for example, President Jimmy Carter signed the top-secret Presidential Directive 59, PD 59, directing new nuclear warfighting policies that persisted until the end of the Cold War. When revealed, PD-59 caused a public furor. Similarly, President George W. Bush signed a series of classified national security directives after 9/11, the most famous of which authorized NSA's unlawful domestic intercepts, a directive that wasn't publicly revealed until 4 years later. In NSPM 7, Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence, President Trump directs the Justice Department, the FBI, and other national security agencies and departments to fight his version of political violence in America, retooling a network of joint terrorism task forces to focus on leftist political violence in America. This vast counterterrorism army made up of federal, state, and local agents would, as Trump aide Stephen Miller said, form the central hub of that effort. NSPM 7 directs a new national strategy to disrupt any individual or groups that foment political violence, including before they result in violent political acts. In other words, they're targeting pre-crime, to reference Minority Report. Not to be confused with Majority Report with Sam Cedar. The Trump administration isn't only targeting organizations or groups, but even individuals and entities whom NSPM 7 says can be identified by any of the following indicia. Indicia. That's it. Anti-capitalism, anti-Americanism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government. So all of Trump supporters. Well, I'm a stoner, so I was going for indica. That's what I had in my mind. Extremism on migration, Trump supporters. Extremism on race, Trump supporters. Extremism on gender, Trump supporters. Hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, Trump supporters. Hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on religion, that's Trump supporters. Hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on morality, that is Trump supporters. Dustin, good evening. Welcome in. The United States requires a national strategy to investigate and disrupt networks, entities, and organizations that foment political violence so that law enforcement can intervene in criminal conspiracies before they result in violent political acts, the directive states. Emphasis is Ken Klippenstein's there. A pre-crime endeavor preventing attacks before they happen is core to the post-9/11 concept of counterterrorism itself. No longer satisfied to investigate acts of terrorism after the fact, to bring terrorists to justice, the Bush administration adopted preemption overseas that led to an aerial assassination by drones, special operation kill missions. Domestically, it led to counterterrorism campaign whose hallmark was excessive and illegal government surveillance and the use of undercover agents and confidential human sources to trap and entrap would-be terrorists. Now, with Donald Trump's directive retooling the counter-terror apparatus to go after Americans at home, this means monitoring political activity or speech as an investigative method to discover radicalism, contrary to other national security documents, all during the post-Watergate era. NSPM 7 doesn't even mention the First Amendment or fundamental rights of Americans to organize and protest. I've doubly been declared a terrorist in like the last week.
The clerk will report.
This is back on the Senate floor.
Senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a closed debate on Executive Counter Number 2.
C-SPAN now has a countdown until government shutdown.
Authorizing the en bloc consideration in executive session of certain nominations on the executive calendar signed by 17 senators as follows.
We'll check back in with the Senate floor here in a little bit. Senator John Thune apparently called for cloture Trump has declared war on extremists and people against American values. I guess shooting up the place is an American value, though, right? This is Fox and Friends earlier.
It makes him this rare Democrat that he is willing to admit that cheap insults get you nowhere, but also that rhetoric matters. And I'm not quite sure why the rest of the leadership in the Democrat Party can't sit down and stand shoulder to shoulder just one time and say, turn it down. And I must say, unequivocally, the president and Caroline Leavitt and the FBI director came out and unequivocally condemned that violence, that shooting of the Mormon church. They called it for what it is. Immediately, we have heard more from this administration
about that
than
guy's politics than Tyler Robinson's or the kid who shot the detainee at ICE. And they certainly didn't say, I heard he had a Trump flag. I disown him. I disavow that. That's not what we're about.
They left a note, and they also inscribed the casings of the bullet.
They didn't
you don't have to speculate
vote for
about
the
something
left
because they told you exactly what their motive was. You're bringing stuff out here that
online
the FBI hasn't been brought
nihilistic
up.
kids.
Dems' dangerous rhetoric. Fetterman urges party to stop calling GOP Nazis.
And when I brought that up, I got poo-pooed. Well, who cares? Who cares? Because he's with a trans person, that means he's one of yours.
But
that's what I was met with when I tried to say, get people mental health help and take away the guns, for God's sake.
To this administration.
Ooh, Daily Caller has now redacted it. As I said earlier, they ran with this story. Eric Swalwell appears to post Photoshop picture to call church attack suspect a MAGA. It wasn't Photoshopped. The Daily Caller was the one that shared the Photoshopped picture. However, this isn't going to resonate with their readership, their viewers, people like Fort Awesome. They'll still be saying it. After publishing this story, the Daily Caller discovered that the photo shared by Representative Swalwell was the original photo, not the altered version. We deeply regret the error. They took their story down because of course they did. Link to the archive. They actually shared out a Photoshopped version. That's Swalwell's post, but I feel like they've got it embedded in here somewhere. But it's not popping up for me. Complete dumbasses. Because you could actually, and like, it was easy to verify. Because this is apparently it's not the shooter's Facebook. Okay, this is the original photo. Oh no, where's the Facebook at? Oh, it had the link in it originally. See, this guy's trying to say it was Photoshop. I lost the Facebook page somehow. Oh, no, there it is. There we go. Go to the fucking source. This is the original photo. Posted in 2019. And he was a Trump supporter. The dude who shot up the restaurant in North Carolina from a boat, he said that people were after him because he was a straight man. So when are we going to have a conversation about the hate that the right foments against the left? constantly, and they make so much money off of it. People like Matt Walsh and his What Is a Woman movie. By the way, Matt Walsh once called me a formidable voice in the culture.
JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
So you might want to listen up. Just saying. We do have the latest details on the church shooter. The local news affiliate.
Investigators say they have now accounted for all the missing in the shooting at a Mormon church yesterday. 4 people were killed and 8
the death toll rose to 4.
According to officials, an ex-Marine rammed his pickup truck into the church and then set the building on fire. Police spent time combing through the charred building looking for other victims. Authorities have not given a reason why the suspect, Thomas Jacob Sanford, did what he did. But White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told Fox News that FBI Director Kash Patel told her the suspect hated people of the Mormon Church. Responding officers to the incident killed Sanford in an exchange of gunfire. Our Scripps News senior national investigative correspondent Lori Jane Gliha is live with us in Denver with a little bit more about what we've learned about the suspect in this case.
Yeah, Stephanie, he comes from a community that was not far from the church, and he also served in the military. And if not for the quick action by police, he might have taken more lives.
Overnight, authorities searched for clues and evidence that might lead to a motive for the deadly shooting and fire at a mid-Michigan Mormon church.
We're going to find out if there was a motive. We're going to go through cell phone records, things like that.
I'm the active shooter at the church. I need manpower up here ASAP. I have people trapped in the building.
Hundreds of people, adults and children, were inside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Lake Township Sunday when a 40-year-old man plowed his truck through the front doors, according to police. Then the suspect started shooting people inside the building with what the police chief described as an assault rifle.
One of our counselors was up speaking, and we heard a big bang and the doors blew. And then everybody rushed out.
Authorities say they believe the suspect, identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford, possibly used gasoline to light the building on fire before law enforcement officers arrived and killed him.
We were on scene within 30 seconds from that original 911 call. Within 8 minutes, that suspect was neutralized in the back parking lot of the church.
Scripps News is learning more about the suspected shooter as the U.S. Marine Corps confirmed he served for 4 years between 2004 and 2008 with a deployment to Iraq as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. He achieved the rank of sergeant and received a handful of awards, including a Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, a National Defense Service Medal, and an Iraq Campaign Medal. Close to 2 decades later, he's accused of taking several lives in a community that pledges to stick together as they wait for answers.
Let me say we are heartbroken. This kind of violence doesn't happen in our community.
And there are various federal agencies involved in this investigation, including the ATF and the FBI. The ATF said they found evidence of what they believe to be some suspected explosive devices. The state police also said they searched and cleared multiple churches for bomb threats after receiving several 911 calls. Stephanie.
Laura Jane, you mentioned a number of agencies involved. It seemed like there was a very swift and robust response. So how are all of these different agencies working together?
Yes, well, we know there were a lot of agencies involved: Michigan State Police, Grand Blanc Township Police, even someone who was a conservation officer involved in this. That person credited for helping take down the suspect. We have also learned more information from information sharing that the suspect was also involved in incidents in 2010 involving law enforcement and 2011 related to entering someone's house and also intoxicated driving. Stephanie?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Senior National Investigative Correspondent Lori Jane Gliha, who I'm sure will continue to stay on top of this story for us. Thank you very much.
The Minnesota assassin was a MAGA. Oh my God! Why are you guys so stupid? You just saw the proof. Dude was a Trump supporter.
As we speak, as police search several areas right now, we're times in the week, his other home being in Green Isle. He had some jobs here in the Twin Cities, and so that's why he was here. In fact, actually,
I wanted to hear him say it.
Somebody inside there.
Do you
right
not speak
now.
with him?
There's a cat tower. You know, I wish it hadn't gone this way. I don't want to say
shooting.
You guys.
Suspect's roommate says he was a Trump voter.
I love you guys, and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused.
Like, I don't. Brother, you're not blocked. For the love of... Can people stop coming to my chat? Not only are you not blocked, you're welcome to call in. 917-830-4359. Nobody's blocking your chats. I don't think you want to debate. And, like, what use would it be for me to debate you when, like, you live in fantasy world? You're telling me that he wasn't a Trump supporter, and I'm showing you the evidence right here. He was a Trump supporter. Just like the shooter in Michigan that shot up the church yesterday was a Trump supporter. I'm cold. I don't know what you're talking about. You sound like a nut job to me. Like, if you're like, that's so vague and it doesn't mean anything. People think they know what's up and actually have no idea what's going on. What receipts have you come with? You've accused me of lying multiple times when I haven't. And you're like, you just got proven wrong. My friend, I'm not high enough for this. I'm desperate? Seems like you're desperate. You're in my chat. And crying. Does that make you desperate? Not me? Not high enough for this shit. But it's the right. The right commits all the violence in this country. Let me go. I forgot to grab this earlier. The White House actually shared out this Axios story with the graph of left wing and right wing violence, because there was an Axios story about a rise in leftist violence, and it has this stunning graph in it. Where did I put it? This is the graph that the White House shared out from Axios. Left and right wing U.S. domestic terrorism attacks. Notice how it's a shit ton of right wingers. This is apparently the first year they're saying that left wing attacks have outpaced right wing. I would love to know what they're talking about. Are they attributing like Charlie Kirk's shooter in that? But it's only through July 4th. But every fucking year, it's always right-wingers. It couldn't be the Kirk shooter because it doesn't go up that. It's only through July 4th. Halfway through 2025, attacks by far-left extremists outpaced far-right violence for the first time in more than 3 decades. According to new research from the Center for Strategic and International Studies. I don't understand it, because we had the dude literally going out here and with a kill list of Democrats. I don't know who Despite the uptick in high-profile attacks like the assassination of Charlie Kirk, political violence remains rare, yes, and overwhelmingly opposed by most Americans. The data showed that left-wing extremists have carried out 41 attacks since 2016, compared with 152 from the far right over the same period. What do you trust? Like Steven Crowder, man? Like, get a life, loser. Do you notice what we do on this show? We actually cover the news and we find out what's going on. We don't just cry like babies and call each other names. I mean, I do call people names sometimes when it's warranted. A lot of times. Once again, yet another example of Republican violence. Republican Arizona lawmaker makes post calling for the execution of Democratic Congresswoman. John Gillette on X called for people like Pramila Jayapal to be hanged in response to her video on anti-Trump protests. An Arizona Republican state representative who has expressed support for January 6 insurrectionists on Wednesday called for a Democratic Congresswoman to be executed as a response to a video clip. The comment on X by State Representative John Gillette of Kingman, Arizona, first reported by the Arizona Mirror, was a reaction to a short clip drawn from a YouTube video in March by U.S. Representative Pramila Jayapal, a longtime Democratic Congresswoman representing Washington State, entitled The Resistance Lab. In the video, Jayapal discusses preparations for street protests against the Trump administration. Until people like this that advocate for the overthrow of the American government are tried, convicted, and hanged, it will continue. This is exactly why we have a First Amendment. This is exactly why our founders said that protest was essential and protected speech. Nothing in either clip or the longer video actually suggests Jayapal is advocating for the overthrow of the U.S. government. The U.S. government, which, by the way, she is a part of, because it doesn't make fucking sense. Once again, I said it earlier, right-wingers just make up shit. Like, they hear you say one thing, and they make up what they thought you heard. It's the wildest thing. Nothing in either of the clip or the longer video actually suggests Jayapal is advocating for the overthrow of the U.S. government. The video carries explicit calls for nonviolent protest and discussed with alarm a rise in political violence in the U.S. Gillette's comment is a continuation of a string of inflammatory far-right online invective by the Mohave County Republican and retired Army Reserve Command Sergeant. Gillette has defended January 6 protesters who were intent on violently overthrowing Trump's defeat by Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election as political prisoners and described Muslims as terrorists. It also reflects a widening call among Republicans to criminalize protest and speech critical of the Trump administration. Trump's fascist takeover continues. An American woman was hospitalized after an ICE raid. This is a American citizen getting assaulted by a law enforcement agency. They're in a fucking U-Haul. You know what, Ford? I'm glad you brought that up. You're just repeating what propaganda told you. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, you're not going to believe me. even though Kash Patel had to come out and say it. Trump falsely suggests FBI agents to blame for igniting the January 6th violence. Seriously? Seriously, Politico? Trump on Saturday falsely accused the FBI of fomenting the January 6th, 2021 assault on the Capitol, something he did. Trump on social media said the FBI had secretly placed 274 agents in the crowd of rioters who stormed the Capitol to disrupt the certification of Joe Biden's victory. His comments stem from reports Friday in right-leaning media that appeared to conflate the FBI's response to the January 6th attack. The Bureau has long acknowledged sending agents and support personnel to the Capitol after the breach to help restore order, with conspiracy theories that the Bureau embedded undercover agents to ignite the attack in the first place. In reality, the Inspector General of the Justice Department revealed 10 months ago that hundreds of FBI agents went to the Capitol to assist at the request of the beleaguered Capitol Police. The Bureau also had personnel responding to pipe bombs placed outside the National Republican and Democratic Party's headquarters and to a vehicle full of explosives. The Inspector General did find that 26 FBI confidential sources who are not employees of the Bureau, but have at times shared information. This is, what's his name? It was one of the Proud Boys. Enrique Tarrio was a confidential source for the FBI because he, the entire time, was playing both sides. They were among the crowd that day, but nearly all of them, the IG found, did not tell the Bureau of their plans to attend, and none were instructed to violate any laws or participate in the riot. The IG report found no evidence that the agency had undercover employees in the various protest crowds or at the Capitol on January 6th. Sorry, pal. Stop letting right-wing grifters get you riled up about shit you know nothing about. A superintendent in Illinois, Oh, he got right down. He didn't even stay. I was going to show him to the stream. Bro, like, nobody gives a shit what you got to say. We've moved on to the news now. You're not fun. You've lied and said I've blocked you. You're not calling in, so nobody going to pay attention to you. The Des Moines School Board expected to put the superintendent on paid leave after the state revokes his credentials.
The board is holding a special session tonight. There, they'll discuss the next steps being taken in regard to Superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts. They'll also discuss placing Roberts on unpaid administrative leave. That meeting is at 4:45 tonight, and KCCI will bring it to you live when it happens. Now, this comes after the Iowa Board of Educational Examiners revoked Roberts' license to practice in Iowa this morning. It says that he no longer possesses legal presence in the U.S., so he cannot serve as superintendent. Roberts can choose to submit a letter of appeal to the board, but there is no word yet on if he plans to do so. Roberts was arrested on Friday.
This is crazy.
Immigration officials say the Guyana native overstayed his visa. The Department of Homeland Security says that Roberts sped off from a traffic stop Friday morning before abandoning his vehicle near a wooded area. Officials claim a loaded gun, hunting knife, and $3,000 cash were also in the vehicle. He's currently being...
Sounds and looks like a pimp. I love him.
And we have...
Well, that's the American way. That sounds like American values to me. A gun and a knife and cash. So the dude has a doctorate. Highly intelligent. Worked his way up. Clearly a hard worker. Worked his way up to be the superintendent of the Des Moines School Board, and you're telling me he's not qualified to be here? He's not good enough to be in your country? You're just a fucking racist. Pillar of the fucking community. Fuck off. That's just fascist as shit.
A new video linked to the unfolding investigation into Roberts. On Friday night, agents with the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Task Force were in the South Des Moines neighborhood. They were seen going into a home near Indianola Avenue. Well, the address of that home matches the one listed for Dr. Roberts from the Iowa State Board of Education letter in which his license was revoked. An ATF spokesperson confirms that it was executing a federal search warrant in that area, but did not give any further information.
When the superintendent was hired, I was not board chair, but we retained a search firm, did the background check, just like the state of Iowa and Governor Reynolds and the Board of Educational Examiners did their license check. And so we followed all of the proper procedures, and now we have to wait for the facts to unfold because it seems that there's not legitimacy around that right now.
And that is School Board Chair Jackie Norris. She says that they're still working to gather all the facts, specifically how the district could have been unaware of an order of removal against Roberts in May of 2024. There are planned walkouts and protests at schools across the metro this week. Roberts joined Des Moines Public Schools in 2023. And Iowa Congressman Zach Nunn says that he wants to hold the federal government accountable. He's requesting more information about Roberts' immigration status and past. He says that regardless of what DHS is legally required to do, the agency should have notified the school district.
As we go forward right now, if ICE is going to be operating in our community, candidly, with our Department of Public Safety, our community should be part of this conversation. Now, that also means upholding the law. It doesn't mean that you get to hide behind that as an excuse to not tell your employer, to tell your community that you've been operating in the country in a non-legal status.
The Iowa-Nebraska NAACP says that its members spoke with Roberts over the weekend. The organization says that it has seen a massive influx of calls.
Question marks, welcome in.
Nationwide.
No idea. I know One Piece is an anime
organization says
or
that
a manga or some shit like that. Well, those things I don't pay attention to. Sorry. It's supposedly very good though. I've heard it's very good. They have wrapped up on the Senate floor. Amazingly enough, Trump has posted an insane video following his meeting with Jeffries and Schumer.
There's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Oh, I'm sure Fort probably does think it's real. The president. Amazing.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Truth Social wanted to send me notifications. Here, let me give you some smoky. Clinically, welcome in, friend. Good to see you tonight. That's why I replayed the video just for you. I knew if you hadn't popped in early enough to see the video, you needed to see that video. Mike Fort, do you hear yourself? You're the only person who's molest my cat. There is something fucked up in your head, and you're calling me a sick pervo. It is projection on your part. The fuck? Like, cause that's going through your mind, not mine. Like, that one molests me. I got Maynard over here. He will hump my leg in the middle of the night. I get molested by a cat. Apparently, Pete Hegseth is spiraling. A crash out is incoming. Will he remain on as the head of the Department of War? I can't call it that. Pentagon Pete's manic meltdowns exposed by AIDS. Pete Hegseth is crumbling under the pressure of leading the Pentagon. The defense secretary, who prefers the moniker Secretary of War, is being described by staffers as manic, erupting into fits. I thought it said Manny. I was like, why are they calling him Manny? I really need to get my eyes checked. I'm sorry. Erupting into fits of rain. Now I can't see because my eyes are all watery. At tumultuous tirades. While he has reportedly always been temperamental, two staffers claim the former Fox News star's mental state has reached new frenzied heights after the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk earlier this month. They said Hegseth is becoming increasingly obsessed with his own security and exhibits frantic behavior, such as fidgeting and pacing during meetings. That does kind of sound like he's having withdrawals. Did he really sober up? There's a manic quality about him, or let me rephrase, an even more manic quality, which is really saying something. Dude is crawling out of his skin. The sources cited Hegseth's increasingly erratic demands that have played out in public, most notably his recent order that every military official above the rank of one-star general fly in for a meeting in Virginia on Tuesday, even if stationed abroad. And remember, they're trapped here if the government shuts down, which it looks like it will. The latest reporting from Politico says that they are preparing everything for a shutdown. They do not believe there will be a deal in the hours leading up to midnight tomorrow, which I guess we're going to be covering. Meanwhile, Hegseth has introduced sweeping new guidelines restricting press access at his rebranded Department of War. This is according to the Mail. Reporters now require express approval from the department to publish any information gathered at the Pentagon and are forbidden from accessing most of the building without an escort. Journalists must also sign compliance forms pledging to protect sensitive information and will lose their credentials if they violate the new rules. When the crackdown was first announced, the Pentagon Press Association issued a blistering statement calling it a direct attack on the freedom of the press and America's right to know what its military is doing. Hegseth responded on X, "The press does not run the Pentagon, the people do. The press is no longer allowed to roam the halls of the secure facility, wear a badge and follow the rules or go home." Brother, everybody quit paying attention to you. If you think you're so special, go start your own stream. Nobody will watch. Trump says Israel can finish the job should Hamas not accept U.S.'s terms for I guess, complete surrender. I don't know what U.S.'s terms are.
Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed.
Hamas says they've seen no details.
But I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it. To demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly. Decommission the military capabilities of Hamas and all other terror organizations. Do that immediately. And we're relying on the...
Apparently, as of like 9 minutes ago, the Washington Post reporting that Netanyahu has agreed to Trump's deal. Hamas still has questions.
Countries that I named and others to deal with Hamas. And I'm hearing that Hamas wants to get this done too, and that's a good thing. And destroy all terror infrastructure, including the tunnels, weapons, production facilities.
He does seem very low energy.
Production facilities that we're destroying.
He's been hanging out with Bibi all day.
Train local police forces in the areas that we're discussing right now, in particular in and around Gaza, working with the new transitional authority in Gaza. All parties will agree on a timeline for Israeli forces to withdraw in phases. They'll be withdrawing in phases. No more shooting, hopefully. As progress is made toward achieving these goals, Arab and Muslim nations need to be allowed the chance to fulfill these commitments of dealing with Hamas. They have to deal with them because they were the one group that we have not.
Listen. I condemn.
Dealt with them.
I condemn Hamas.
But the
Where the fuck is
Arab
that?
countries are going to, and Muslim countries are going to be dealing with Hamas, and I believe they've already been there. I think they probably have an understanding. And
I would assume he gets the best
mention
man.
that, but I would imagine they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone as far as they've gone. If they're unable to do so, then Israel would have the absolute right and actually our full backing, the U.S. full backing. Marco's here, and a lot of our leaders are here. Our great Vice President, Susie Wiles, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. They've been so involved in this process. I don't think anybody.
Oh no, he is totally bumped up on drugs.
Come close.
He just doesn't think they're drugs because he gets them from a doctor.
First time in
just like Elvis.
Thousands of years, I think you can probably say, if you really look into it, if you study back, if you're a scholar.
He doesn't drink though. That is
I would
true.
say thousands of years, Israel,
which should make somebody question him.
Job.
Seems weird to me. You don't have some sort of vice.
The threat of Hamas, but I hope that.
But we all know what his vice is. It's an enigma that never ages. Get ready for even more Donald Trump in your social media. The TikTok takeover. Holy shit.
Today on Forbes, the web of billionaire pals, partners, and Trump supporters taking control of TikTok US. TikTok is here to stay. President Trump signed an executive order on Thursday that paves the way for the social media app to remain available in the United States. The business, which had been facing a ban in the US following a bipartisan law passed in 2024 to limit its Chinese ownership, will be taken over by a consortium of mostly American investors. After signing the order Thursday in the Oval Office, Trump said, quote, "It's run by American investors and American companies. Great ones, great investors. The biggest, you don't get bigger." He claimed that there will be fewer data and privacy concerns because it's going to be run by, quote, "people that love the country." The full roster of TikTok's new US owners was still under wraps as of Thursday, but according to Vice President J.D. Vance, would be revealed, quote, "in the days to come." But it's believed to be a who's who of US billionaires, many of whom have close ties to Trump and to each other. Software giant Oracle, private equity firm Silver Lake, and MGX, an AI-focused investment firm established by the government of Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, are expected to own around 45% of the new TikTok. Trump also mentioned the involvement of Michael Dell and Rupert Murdoch from the Oval Office on Thursday. ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company,
I thought he had a problem with Rupert right now.
19.9% ownership, while a broader group of investors, including existing ByteDance shareholders, KKR, Sequoia, and
comment.
is believed to be taking the remaining 35%. The deal values the U.S. operations of TikTok, minus its lucrative algorithm, at around $14 billion, less than its $22 billion in estimated 2024 revenue. The biggest face of the deal, besides Trump himself, is Larry Ellison, the co-founder of Oracle and the world's second richest person. Trump said Oracle is, quote, playing a very big part in the deal, including Oracle taking a rumored 15% share and being the app's, quote,
he even looks so fucking evil.
It's a marriage of interests between Ellison and Trump. Oracle gets a lot of business from government contracts. Plus, according to a regulatory filing, its, quote, revenues and profits would be adversely impacted if Oracle can't keep managing the data and infrastructure of TikTok's U.S. operations, which represent an estimated 15% of ByteDance's business. Trump, for whom image is king, certainly has much to gain from a social media app owned by someone who's friendly with him. The president also owns somewhere between $32,000 and $130,000 in Oracle shares, per his latest financial disclosure, which would make Trump, like all Oracle shareholders, technically a small, indirect owner of TikTok. Ellison, speaking to Forbes in 1996 of then-dominant Microsoft, said, quote, if you had an absolute monopoly, what would you think of anything that threatened that monopoly? Those with the most have the most to lose. Now Ellison and his own software firm appear to be buying up as many bits of the technology and media markets as he can, from Paramount, and perhaps Warner Brothers, to stakes in X and potentially TikTok. Another rumored major investor in the deal is Abu Dhabi-based MGX, an AI-focused investment firm backed by the United Arab Emirates Sovereign Wealth Fund. Like the others, MGX has a connection to Trump. The firm announced a $2 billion investment in crypto exchange Binance in March, funded using $2 billion of USD1, the stablecoin created by Trump's World Liberty Financial. The decision to use USD1 helped give the president's coin legitimacy and scale, swelling its market cap and allowing the president to generate interest on the MGX deposits. MGX also partnered with Silver Lake in a majority buyout of Intel's Altera unit earlier this month. It remains unclear what exactly will happen to the 1/3 or so of the new U.S. TikTok that will be owned both by existing ByteDance investors and new shareholders, to what extent that shareholding might mirror ByteDance's existing ownership structure, or whether any cash will change hands in that part of the deal. What we do know is that the other billionaires involved...
It is fraud.
Ellison's right-hand woman, Oracle Executive Vice Chair Safra Catz, private equity firm Silver Lake's managing partners Egon Durbin, Greg Mondre, and Kenneth Howe, and Abu Dhabi-based MGX, have deeply entrenched relationships with Ellison, Trump, and each other. In some ways, the deal is decades in the making. For full coverage, check out Chase Peterson Whithorn and Phoebe Lou's piece on Forbes.
On Forbes.com. Another big tech company has capitulated to Donald Trump. One by the name of YouTube. Fuck YouTube, Alphabet, Google, all you fuckers. For capitulating to Trump. Agrees to pay $24.5 million to settle account suspension lawsuit. YouTube will pay $24.5 million to settle a lawsuit Trump brought against the platform after his account was suspended on January 6th, when he attacked our government. YouTube suspended Trump's official channel on January 12th, 2021, 6 days after the riots, from uploading new content at the time, citing the potential for violence. The settlement was filed in federal court in Oakland on September 29th. The weeks after the riots, when a mob of the former president's supporters attempted to disrupt Congress's certification of the 2020 presidential election of Joe Biden, Trump was banned from a series of social media and video platforms, including YouTube, X, and Facebook. An estimated 10,000 people broke through police barriers to enter the Capitol grounds on January 6. Of those, an estimated 2,000 entered the Capitol building. The riot led to 4 deaths, including a demonstrator who was shot as she tried to reach fleeing lawmakers. A Capitol police officer later died from suffering strokes. 4 other officers have taken their own lives since. More than 150 were injured, many permanently. Trump filed lawsuits against Twitter, Facebook, owner Meta, and Alphabet's Google, along with the chief executives in July of 2021. Trump alleged that the platforms unlawfully silenced conservative viewpoints. Earlier this year, Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, settled for $25 million, while X settled for $10 million. And this is disgusting. As someone who, one, is now on his 3rd Facebook, they've taken 2 away from me. I have a completely blank slate. I've not liked any pages. I've not followed anybody. Barely commented on anything. And it is a deluge of Benny Johnson. It is Ryan Fournier. It's the Daily Wire, the Daily Caller. It is absolutely nothing but right-wing bullshit on the Facebook. That's without, following anything. If anything, I've friended people that Facebook should know are of a leftist perspective, and you would think it would serve me leftist content. Instead, no. Oh, the Hodge twins. Like Benny Johnson and the Hodge twins. Those were the 2 most prominent. Everything else is kind of in a smaller tier, but those 2 got pushed really hard. The Hodge twins sounds like porno. Under the terms of the settlement with YouTube, $22 million will be paid on Trump's behalf to the Trust for the National Mall, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the construction of the $200 million ballroom that Trump is building at the White House. Benny Johnson and the Hodge twins. It's definitely not Benny and the Jets. The New York City mayoral race getting shaken up over the weekend by Eric Adams leaving the race. We've only got 3 candidates now, and I'm looking forward to the debate. A hair from my eyebrow is like poking me in the eye. How does that how? Gotta trim my goddamn eyebrows. I got attacked. The New York mayoral race is heating up. Am I too high or not high enough for this shit? We're going to go with not high enough. I understand eyelashes, but eyebrows? Eyebrows? Here is the breakdown of the mayor's race following Eric Adams dropping out.
We begin with the race for New York City mayor, and with Mayor Adams now out of the race, the top 2 candidates spent the day sharpening their attacks against one another.
He is anti-police. I want to hire more police.
Based.
He wants to legalize prostitution.
What we see on that ballot, showcased by Andrew Cuomo, is a record of broken promises. A record of disgrace.
Does he actually want to legalize prostitution? Because I hadn't heard that one. Fucking bravo.
And good afternoon. I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Liz Joan. It wasn't just Zorn.
I already liked the guy.
Cuomo going after
Cuomo sold me on even harder.
Trump also weighed in, threatening to withhold federal funding from New York if Mamdani wins.
There's a lot to go over. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg live outside City Hall with more.
As several people on social media pointed out, what happens when New York decides to withhold their tax dollars from the federal government? New York City, is it number 1 Or New York State number 1 in federal funds to the government? Or is it California number 1, New York number 2? It's those two states predominantly, followed by Illinois and Texas, are the states that pay into the federal government without getting more back.
Yeah, David and Liz, Zoran Mamdani has a commanding lead over Andrew Cuomo, but that did not stop him from going on the attack, attacking Cuomo, and Cuomo, of course, stood his ground and also bit back. But this is a different race with now only 3 candidates running, and one of them is not the incumbent.
What we see still on that ballot, showcased by Andrew Cuomo, is a record of broken promises, a record of disgrace. And to stand here with Kasha and to hear about the Advantage program is a reminder of that very record.
Zoran Mamdani was joined by Kasha Phillips-Lewis in Hudson Heights today. She says she ended up in a shelter after the Advantage rental voucher program was cut in 2011 while Andrew Cuomo was governor. Cuomo's campaign responded today saying that cut was 14 years ago and came amid a $10 billion shortfall. And Cuomo says he has a track record for creating a...
Oh, is Florida overtaking Illinois?
Do those things because I have done them. I was the HUD secretary under Bill Clinton. I know how to build housing. I built big projects as governor.
The back and forth, a glimpse of perhaps how the next...
I'm very interested in what you even think the left is. How many leftist day traders do you know? What do you think left means, dude?
Next month on the campaign trail may play out. The field now down to 3 after Mayor Eric Adams bowed out yesterday. And as the mayor demonstrated his civic mindedness today by pushing a stalled car in Harlem, he remained a target.
Oh, I thought he was shooting a commercial about how he broke down.
Threw away his mayoralty from day one when he dubbed himself the swagger man.
Curtis Sliwa outperformed Adams in the polls. Sliwa is the Republican candidate who said again today he has no plans to quit the race and campaigned on quality of life issues.
You have these e-bikes and these motor scooters going up and down and terrorizing people of all different races, ethnic backgrounds, neighborhoods, and nothing is being done to curb them. There will have to be immediate enforcement.
Meanwhile, President Trump posted that Mamdani will prove to be one of the best things to ever happen to the Republican Party and that he'll need money from the federal government and won't be getting any of it.
You still see an administration that looks at this city as something that is to be punished each and every day, and what this city deserves is someone who will fight for it.
Mamdani there saying that he would be able to take on Trump. Cuomo saying that he is best suited to take on Trump and that a Mamdani win would
I bet Cuomo believes
a political bonanza for Trump and the Republicans. Live in Lower Manhattan, Lauren Glassberg, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Will somebody think of the e-bikes? We're heading over to Wisconsin, where a gubernatorial candidate for the GOP has dropped out. Wait till you hear why.
And we started forward with breaking news. Republican businessman Bill Berrien is out of the race for governor.
The sudden departure comes following a scathing report linking him to pornographic websites. Let's get right to 12 News political director Matt Smith, who broke the story this afternoon.
Matt, a big downfall for the Republican hopeful.
Derek, a dramatic downfall after the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel story this past week revealing Berrien was following a number of sexually explicit
not just any porn,
including a transgender porn star. The criticism to that was swift and campaign ending today, even among some Republican primary voters. Berrien, who